Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So, on today's episode, I'm gonna be taking you through my list of commanders that might surprise you that they are actually secretly evil. Now, in Magic, there are some commanders that are very upfront with their evilness and what they do and kind of just their persona in general, like the Praetors, you know? That being said, there are some that sneak under the radar and they present themselves as this friendly commander, and all of a sudden, it's too late and they've stabbed you in the back. Let's jump into it. So, first up, do not trust Ms. Bumbleflower. I don't know what snacks she has made right there for you, but do not trust her. She is a devious rabbit citizen, a 1/5 vigilant rabbit citizen for 4 mana in Bant. Whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card, put a counter on target creature, it gains flying till up turn. This the second time ability resolve this turn, you draw 2 cards. Ms. Bumbleflower presents herself as a group hug commander. And she definitely can be, but more often than not, no. This is a combo commander. This is a commander that is looking to combo while making you think that they are your best friend. Again, it's like, oh, hey, who wants to be my buddy? Oh, you? Cool, here. I'll put a count on your creature, gets flying, cool. You also get to draw a card. You're welcome, you're welcome. And then it's too late because they have played things like, well, Soul Ring, which, Soul Ring is a card that, yes, is incredibly powerful, incredibly overpowered, but it is not something that is suspicious at all in basically any deck out there. Like, whoa, that player played Soul Ring. Look out. Wow, a combo's coming. No, but there is a combo coming with Bumbleflower because, just one example, Hullbreaker. Here we go. A 7/8 Kraken that has flash that costs 7 mana in blue. Can't be countered. Cast spell shield to 1. When you cast any spell, I should say. Return target spell you control to its owner's hand, but more importantly, bounce target non-land permanent back to its owner's hand, which could be Soul Ring, of course. So, if you just have one other card that is free to play, like, say, Everflowing Chalice, congratulations, you've got infinite casts. Because essentially you just cast the Soul Ring, tap it for 2, you cast the Chalice, you bounce the Soul Ring back to your hand, you cast the Soul Ring with 1 of that mana, you bounce the Everflowing Chalice, then you tap for a mana. It's infinite. You get infinite colorless mana. You get infinite cast. I mean, the mana doesn't even matter because, again, Ms. Bumbleflower will say opponents. Again, it's not a May on that draw, so you draw your entire deck and lose. Another option, though, I mean, like, you can just have an absurd number of just miscellaneous combos in the deck just to cast infinite things. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But, like, Allurin, a very weird old card that, again, you might just think it's, like, a little innocuous if you've never seen it before. And it's in play, you're like, well, that thing's weird. Okay, what's going to go with this? Basically, everyone can cast creature spells that cost 3 or less for free at instant speed, essentially. So you're like, you know what? You can present it as, hey, everyone, just trying to help everyone here. Again, with my Bumbleflower deck, drawing cards. Also, you know what? Everyone just cast things for free. That's fun for everyone. Until the Bumbleflower player then plays Shrieking Drake for free. A 1/1 Drake that is flying. Because single blue mirror that says, enters the battlefield, bounce a creature control back to its owner's hand. Yeah, essentially, you're just going to be infinitely casting this again and again and again and again, and all of a sudden your opponents, again, have no option not to draw those cards, so they will lose from there. Another just weird, wonky combo that you wouldn't see anywhere else, but, like, again, cards that aren't threatening, like Evolution Witness. You see this in play, you're like, okay, cool, I guess. A 2/1 Elf Shaman Mutant for 3 mana that says, hey, pay 2 mana, adapt 2. Whenever one of our counters are put on it, return target permanent card from your graveyard back to your hand. So you can be like, well, Eternal Witness, I just didn't really feel it for this deck. So, I want to use Evolution Witness because I think that could be fun. And yeah, cool, awesome, yay, hooray. Until then, they play Urza's Bauble, and also Mishra's Bauble, which we're going to do in a second. But basically, tap, sacrifice this, look at a card at random from target player's hand, and cool. But then draw a card at the beginning of next turn's upkeep. So like a delayed draw. Or Mishra's Bauble, tap, sacrifice, look at target player's library, top of it essentially. Again, a delayed draw. Again, 2 cards that are completely just like nothing cards for the most part, but they both cost 0. And essentially, again, when you're casting them, you can keep getting them back as Bumbleflower can keep putting counters on the Evolution Witness. So again, weird, wonky combos that come out of nowhere while you are just kind of just soothing your opponents with the cards that you're giving. Like, hey, you know what? No, I'm not a threat. Here, have a card. It's fun. Yeah. You're welcome. I'm your best buddy. Oh, you know what? You want your creature to have flying? Cool. All right. I'll give it counter. Get flying till I'll turn. You're welcome. I'm helping everyone until it's too late. See, Ms. Bumbleflower is pure evil. Do not trust Ms. Bumbleflower. Ever. Next up, my goodness, never trust Naru Meha. Never, never, not even once, because when you do, it's too late. Even if you don't trust her, it might be too late too. A 3/3 human wizard for 4 mana in blue. Flash, enters the battlefield. Copy target instant source spell you control. Choose target to the copy. Other wizards you control ++1. This one shows up as a, oh, hey, you know what? No, this is just wizard tribal. Yeah. But I also happen to have like 15 cards that combo with this commander from the command zone that I can flash in whenever I need to. Yeah, this is basically dual caster mage in the command zone with a slight caveat, right? Because dual caster mage is not legendary, meaning that you can take advantage of like copy effects. Sure. And you can kind of still do that with this one, but not really as much. That being said, you can take advantage of very simple cards say Ghostly Flicker. Ghostly Flicker is an instant for 3 mana. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and lands you control. Return those cards to battlefield under control. Basically, the combo works like this, essentially, in any of these combo scenarios. You cast Ghostly Flicker, targeting some other things. You cast Naru Meha, which copies the Ghostly Flicker. The copy then will blink the Naru Meha, which then comes back into play. Copying the Ghostly Flicker again. The original Ghostly Flicker just still be on the stack the entire time, basically. So you get infinite Ghostly Flicker copies, essentially infinite ETBs from Naru Meha. And basically, with this one specifically, yeah, you can bounce lands. Or not bounce, you can blink lands. Therefore, you get infinite mana as well. So infinite mana, infinite ETBs, you got plenty of ways to win from there. I mean, very simply, even if you just have like a sun-scorched desert in play, which again, you're in a monocolor deck, you can very easily justify putting this one in the deck. Enters the battlefield, 1 damage to target player. That is game over. You literally just have this, plus Ghostly Flicker, plus your commander. You win the game, because you have infinite damage to all opponents. And again, rules lawyers out there, yes, I know infinite is not actually a thing. You pick a number, a trillion. Sure, a trillion damage to all your opponents. There you go. Next up, another one. Again, there's so many of these cards that just combo Naru Meha. Illusionist Stratagem. Instant for 4 mana in blue. Exile 2 target creatures you control. They return those cards to battlefield under your control. Draw a card. Yeah, so basically you just cast this one again, targeting up to 2 other creatures. Then you cast Naru Meha, and then you blink infinitely or whatever as many times as you want to. And this is just basically draw your entire deck. Draw as many cards as you want, or again, if you've got like a live maniac in play, draw your entire deck and win. But yeah, even if you don't win from there, you have your entire deck in your hand. You probably can find a way to win, especially if you have like a reliquary tower that you just plop down. You're like, okay, now my entire deck is in my hand except for like 4 or 5 cards, so I don't mill myself, and I can find ways to win from here. Next up, Displace. Again, basically exact same thing as Ghostly Flicker, except limited to just creatures. So, sure, you can't get the infinite mana or Sun-Scorched Desert win, but if you have any other creature that is in play with an ETB, congratulations, you get that as many times as you want. So, yeah, any kind of like ETB, draw 2 cards like Muldrifter, draw, again, your entire deck if you want to. If you got any ETBs that do other things, like maybe mill your opponents, you win there from 2. Moving on, Blur. Again, very simply like a lesser Illusionist Stratagem. This is only blinking 1 creature, but again, that's all that matters. You blink 1 creature, which is your commander, and you are drawing, again, as many cards as you could ever want. Essence Flux, very simple, very effective. This is just a simple blink spell for a single blue mana. Now, this plus Naru Meha doesn't just win you the game, it just is like, okay, I get infinite ETBs and infinite copies. If you got some Magecraft triggers, great. That being said, yeah, you need something else, maybe just like a very simple Sage's Row Denizen. Whenever the blue creature is battlefield control, target player puts the top 2 cards alive in their graveyard, otherwise known as Mill 2. So again, you just have Mill 2 as many times as you want, your opponents just lose the game. Again, Naru Meha, Master Wizard, is a gross, disgusting commander that should not be taken lightly. Again, it might present itself as Wizard Tribe, like, yeah, it's a cool commander. Look, it's got an anthem with the wizards, and it's awesome. This is definitely just a wizard deck. Definitely just a wizard. Just kidding. Instant speed, I win the game combo. Ha ha ha! Shuffle up and play again. I definitely promise this time it is a wizard deck. Don't trust Naru Meha ever. Next up, Cayth, the famed Mechanist, a 3/3 dwarf artificer that you should never trust. 4 mana in Jeskai Fabricate 1, so that's kind of cool. That being said, the important thing here is, and the thing that you need to fear, other non-token creatures you control Fabricate 1, and also you do need to fear one more thing: pay 2, tap, choose 1, populate or proliferate. We'll talk about why you gotta, fear that as well. But the big one is non-token creature control Fabricate 1, which means basically when it enters the battlefield, you get a counter on it or make a servo. Here's the thing. you're gonna be getting counters on it. Okay, that's just kind of how it mostly, yeah, there are also ways for, you know, the servo too to kind of go infinite as well, but the counters is what you really got to worry about, because there's this thing called persist creatures like Lesser Manticore, Masticore, whatever it is. You don't really care what it does except for the fact that it says the word persist on it. That's all you care about. 2/2, sure, I discard a card when I cast it. Don't care. Pay 4, deals 1 damage to target creature. Don't care. What I care about is literally it's a 2/2 for 2 mana that has persist, which means that when it dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, it comes back into play with a -1/-1 counter on it. And essentially what happens with that is, well, the rule changed from when I stopped playing when I was a kid to when I was an adult, and I was confused by that as well, but basically a +1/+1 counter and a -1/-1 counter cancel each other out. So if we were to say, get this in play and then sacrifice it and fabricate one to get a counter on it, a +1 counter, that cancels out the -1/-1 counter, and then it has no counters on it, meaning that if we can keep sacrificing it with, say, a Fanatical Devotion or any other free sacrifice outlet, we can do that infinitely, which again, this just doesn't just win us the game. We need something like an Impact Tremors in play, but like a Goblin Bombardment would. Sacrifice a creature, 1 damage target creature or player. Again, you can do that as many times as you want. Ping down your opponent's creatures, but mostly just ping down their faces. They are gone. Yeah, there's ways to do that as well, like a Phyrexian Altar. There you go. Cool. All right, I get infinite mana now as well. Sacrifice a creature, 1 mana of any color. So yeah, now you just get infinite mana. Plenty of ways to win from there, or in combination with like a Glenelendra Archmage. Gross. Yeah, gross. Disgusting. Oh my goodness. I mean, just this on its own. 2/2, Fairy Wizard, flying for 4 mana and blue. Pay a blue, sacrifice a counter target non-creature spell. Yeah, your opponents aren't going to be getting any non-creature spells through. This is basically a repeat counter spell because this has persist for you. So in combination with your commander, it's just like, oh yeah, hey, you want to cast a non-creature spell? Negate for 1 mana. Negate for 1 mana. Negate for 1 mana. No, thank you. River Kelpie, a way to draw your deck as well. A 3/3 beast for 5 mana and blue. It or another permanent enters the battlefield under your control. From the graveyard, draw a card. Whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, draw a card. Persist. So again, literally just sacrifice this as many times as you want. Willy-nilly, draw your entire library, essentially, and have fun from there. How about this one, though? Again, I talked about that other ability that is just like, oh yeah, you could also comp with that too. Intruder Alarm. Again, Cayth says, hey, you know what? Pay 2, tap. Populate or proliferate. Now with this one, we would be populating. If you've got any kind of a creature token and any kind of mana dorks in play, congratulations, you are going infinite with this, because you're like, okay, pay 2 of my mana dorks, whatever it is, you know, tap those. All right, tap my commander, populate. All right, cool, I get another creature token. Oh, that enters the battlefield. It untaps all of my creatures. Whenever a creature in the battlefield, untap all creatures. I do it again and again and again. All the creatures I could ever want in infinite mana if I can generate more than that 2 mana with my creatures that are tapping for mana. Congratulations to me. So again, Cayth Mechanist can go infinite in so many different directions. Literally, any persist creature will just send you running to the hills, because this is a very scary commander. Comes in a lot of different ways. Moving on to Marwyn the Nurturer. Even the name is just so nice. Again, like Ms. Bumbleflower, Marwyn the Nurturer. It's just such a nice name. Non-threatening name, right? No, evil, super evil. I built this deck a long time ago. Didn't realize how evil it was. And then I was like, you know what? I must banish it forever and never play it again. A 1/1 Elf Druid, but I'm sharing it with you, I guess. For 3 mana Elf Druid, whenever their elf you control enters, put a counter on it, tap an amount of green equal to Marwyn's power. Now you can definitely convince your opponents, right, that this is just Elf Tribal, which is already, sure, powerful, but this is not the most powerful elf commander out there. So you're like, you know what? Hey, I just wanted an elf deck. I like tapping for mana. It's gonna be fun. Yay, everyone. And then you're taking a 40-minute turn, because this commander is absurd, and you don't even have to have any elves in the deck. You can literally make a deck with 0 elves in it, and this is incredibly powerful, broken craziness. That is evil. First off, now we're getting more and more of these cards. Basically, copy, paste, change the name, slightly adjust it, but we're basically getting this exact same card over and over again. Instant for a single green mana, untap a creature, essentially. But this one also says +2/+2 gains reach till turn, and these pump effects are amazing because, again, Marwyn taps based on power. not based on the number of counters, based on power. So this means, hey, you know what? Next time you tap, which I'll untap you so you can tap again, you get 2 extra mana. And then you can do that again. And maybe you've got other, sure, if you got other elves in the deck. Vitalize, great. Okay, I've got my other mana dorks. Untap all creatures I control, so I get more mana from all of them. But again, the key to this is literally just, I cast a spell, it untaps my commander. I cast another spell, it untaps my commander. I'm just adding more and more and more mana, maybe adding more and more power. And if you've got Legolas's Quick Leap Reflexes, oh my gosh, this card's $20, instant for a single green mana, split second, no reacting to an opponent's. Untap target creature until turn, it gains hexproof. That is huge. Reach, and whenever this creature comes tapped, it deals damage equal to its power to one target creature. Gross. Okay, so basically, this turns your commander into a decimating force that has hexproof. Good luck, opponents. So again, you're like, okay, yeah, untap Marwyn. All right, tap you for mana. Pew, 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 pew. Taking out all the creatures that you want to take out. Again, it is up to 1, so you don't have to take out your own. And again, hexproof, you're just gonna, make as much mana as you want in that turn. Or sure, yeah, if you want to be nice to your opponents, instead of having a 40-minute green storm turn, you could throw out a Staff of Domination and be like, do you concede? Artifact for 3, pay 1, untap it, pay 2 tap, you gain 1 life, pay 3 tap, untap target creature, pay 4 tap, tap target creature, pay 5 tap, draw a card. Infinite as long as you basically, technically it's infinite within a 4 power because it's like, okay, I get infinitely untap, but I'm not really gaining anything from it. You got 5 or more power on your commander, you go infinite with this. You make as much mana as you could want because you untap your commander, you untap this, then you untap your commander, you untap this. Again, 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 you get infinite life, you can draw as many cards as you want, you get infinite mana, so cast whatever you want, you can tap down your opponent's creatures, you can untap all your other creatures, you just win the game. Or how about Umbral Mental? Again, yet another way to just be nice to your opponents and be like, you know what, I'm just comboing. And they're like, thank goodness. This is a 30-minute green storm turn. Oh my gosh. Pay 3, untap, yeah, that's the untap symbol. +2/+2 until end of turn. So again, this literally adds power every single time for your commander, which is pretty absurd. You can even go and combo in weird ways too. Like, hey, Hyrax Tower Scout. Yeah, that card that doesn't see all that much play. 3/3, Human Scout for 3 mana and green, enters the battlefield, untap target creature. And so your opponent's like, oh, okay, they're including an untap effect. That's not really efficient, it's 3 mana. It's also not an elf, so that doesn't help you in that way. And you're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay, untap my commander. Cool, yeah. And then 3 turns later, you're like, by the way, Teamer Sabertooth. 4/3, cat for 4 mana and green, pay 2 mana essentially, return target creature back to return another target creature, I should say, back to its owner's hand. If you do, gains indestructible out of turn. So again, you bounce another one of your creatures back to your hand, which is Hyrax Tower Scout. Then you replay it, then you bounce it, then you replay it, then you bounce it. Every single time, untapping your commander. As long as you got 6 or more power, which again is incredibly easy to get to, that's infinite mana and infinite ETBs of any other creatures that you want as well. Marwyn the Nurturer, a gross, disgusting, amazing commander. That again, the name and just like the, hey, it's just elves vibe. Like, no. Do not be tricked. This commander is evil. I played with this commander deck and it was evil and I had to banish it. So, if you see it at the table, banish it as well. Next up, Abdel, Adrian, Gorion's Ward. Now, this commander again is very unassuming. It is not a monocolor commander because it has choose a background, but it appears, it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm just an uncommon commander, right? Just uncommon. I'm in white, the weakest color out of all the 5, right? But okay, you know what? Just to make up for that, I picked a different background to help me get another color, okay? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This thing combos with a ham sandwich, everyone. This thing is scary. 4/4 Human Warrior for 5 mana in white. But again, pick any other color you want, essentially, or you could, I guess, double up on it. You could still do some crazy things with it if you really want to get a background in white as well. That being said, when it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you control that leaves the battlefield. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. This commander is super easy to combo with and can combo in a lot of different ways. Again, do not let your opponents just be like, hey, you know what? This is just a deck where I create some soldier tokens. Don't worry about it. Do not be tricked by the Abdel Adrian opponent. Do not let them trick you because, well, a very simple Restoration Angel and something else can just do it. A lot of things. Here we go. A 3/4 Angel with Flash and Flying for 4 mana and white enters the battlefield. Basically, blink a non-angel creature you control. Bring it right back to the battlefield. Here's the thing. Your commander is a lot of things. It is not an angel. so you can blink your commander, and then it comes back. Now, here's the thing that wouldn't just necessarily just combo on its own. It doesn't. But what does happen, though, if you time it correctly with the stack and everything, you cloud shift, okay? And here's what's happening. You exile target creature control, turn the battlefield, or source control for a single white mana. Basically, you're going to get yourself into a loop where you're having Abdel, Adrian, and Restoration Angel come back into play at the exact same time. Again and again and again and again and again, making infinite soldier tokens. So there you go. And also, if you have any other, like, hey, when a creature enters the battlefield, like impact tremor type things, you win the game from there. Next up, Phelddagrif Guardian. Again, basically the exact same thing in that slot for the Restoration Angel, a 1/4 cat beast for 4 mana in white, enters the battlefield, may exile another target permanent you control, return to the battlefield, or someone's control. Here's the thing. Not only does like Phelddagrif Guardian combo in the same way with like a Cloud Shift or Ephemerate or whatnot, it also just says, you know what, hey, do we actually have like 3 of us here, like 3 like Restoration Angel, Phelddagrif Guardian, Abdel, Adrian type things? Cool, we'd also just loop in that way too. So whether you're getting like a lot of these like ETB blink creatures in play, or you have the combination with any of like the other blink spells too, yeah, you're gonna win from there. Also, again, keep in mind, you've got access to other colors. Archaeomancer, there you go. Enters the battlefield to target instant source card from your grave to your hand. And with this, plus like Cloud Shift or literally anything else like Ephemerate, all the things, you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I blinked my commander. Okay. All right, my commander did that. Okay, cool. All right, I came back into play with Archaeomancer, which gets me back my Ephemerate. Oh, wait. Also, by the way, I blinked my Arcane Signet and all my mana rocks too. So, yeah, I get all that mana. So as long as you literally have anything that can just tap for a single white mana, again, with Cloud Shift or Ephemerate, you got an infinite combo there as well. And if it can tap for more than that, you got infinite mana as well with all the infinite soldiers that you're making too. Deadeye Navigator in a somewhat similar way. Basically, you pair it with your commander, you can pay 1 and a blue, and you can blink your commander again and again and again. So, if you've got Gilded Lotus, which you can tap for 3 mana if you have 1 color, congratulations, you've got infinite mana of, well, I mean, I would say all mono blue, but I mean, at some point, you're just infinite mana of all colors as well. So, there you go. You just got infinite mana, infinite soldiers. You're doing all these infinite things. Again, this thing combos with a ham sandwich. This is a scary commander. Again, many players out there might just think it's very unassuming because you see it and you're like, oh yeah, it's uncommon. Yeah, it wasn't really popular or whatever. It's uncommon. You have to choose a background to make it better. Ha 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 ha. Oh my gosh, what is happening? What is happening? It's evil. Moving on, a commander that is evil for a completely different reason. Karona False God, a 5/5. I think it's an avatar. I can't remember. It's a legend, but yeah, it's a legendary creature. They changed the names up. Anyways, I think it's an avatar. With haste for 5 mana in Wooburg. Sorry, 6 mana in Wooburg. I got thrown off by the legend thing. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player untaps Karona False God, gains control of it. Whenever it attacks, creatures of the type of your choice get +3/+3 until end of turn. Here's the thing. First of all, this is Chaos Incarnate, which can be a different kind of evil, essentially, when it comes to a game of Commander if you're not prepared for it. But basically, even just at a base level with this one, you're like, okay, cool, I get to play. All right, everyone, your turn. Swing big, yay! Not next turn. Oh, you got a travel deck over there. So awesome. Swing big, yay, everyone, yay! And you probably have some like ghostly prison type effects to make sure you're not getting swung at. That being said, not just that, but to be incredibly evil to everyone out there. Okay, right now, raise your hand if you sometimes forget upkeep triggers or just other triggers. Yeah, my hand's up. Yeah, that definitely happens. Here's what you can do. And actually, I did an entire deck around this, so make sure you check out my episode on it. But Karona backgrounds. We just talked about backgrounds, right? Yeah, just do a deck where you just literally toss in every single background in the deck. Agent of Shadow Thieves, Clan Crafter, Popular Entertainer, Sword Coast Sailor. Literally does not, like, just all you need to do is just get all those backgrounds, throw any number of them into play, get them all into play, and all of a sudden, get Karona out, and then see what happens. Because your opponents now have to each keep track. Because, again, they're going to get Karona. They have to each keep track of every single one of those triggers. If you've got like 10 plus backgrounds in play and there's triggers for every single one of them happening, good luck to them trying to keep track of that. Again, when they're not really responsible for that card, except for with each trip on the table like once. And then the next player is responsible for it. And the next player, again, like this one's like, create a creature you own, have, whenever this creature attacks that player, if no opponent has more life than that player, this creature can't be blocked this turn. Cool. Good luck to keep that in mind and like figure out, okay, what's that work with Fatal Isle Visitor? Okay, like create a creature you don't have, whatever, one or more non-zone creature control deal combination to player, create a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature showing with flying, or Tavern Brawler. Sure, okay, there you go. Like you just have a bunch of different ones essentially where the text box on Karona basically becomes just like a a library book, like a very long book, like an encyclopedia that you have to read through and be like, okay, did I make sure I got all the triggers this time? No, I missed that. Okay, wait, well, we got to go back, then we got to go back. This is an obnoxious commander for so many reasons when you build in that direction. Pure evil. Moving on, now we've talked about some different ways that commanders kind of sneak under the radar when it comes to like their evilness. One of them is like, okay, like they've got like a really nice name, or like, you know, oh, it's an uncommon commander, or oh, it's an adorable picture. Like, look, it's a very serene, cute bear. Like, it's not like, you know, teeth out, you know, like ripping something apart. No. Just a cute bear in the woods, and you know, I'm a bear deck, you know, just bears. No, this is evil. 2/2 bear for 2 mana and Selesnya. Other creatures have base power, toughness 2/2, and are bears of other types. I literally just read it as like I read it the very first time I saw this card. I was like, oh yeah, cool. All right, you can make your things into 2/2 bears. Oh wait, it doesn't say other creatures you control. It's just other creatures, meaning that every single creature, not just your own, are now 2/2 bears. So, yeah, doesn't matter if you played a 10/10 Eldrazi, it's now a 2/2 Eldrazi bear. And being able to change the base power toughness of all things to 2/2 is incredibly disgusting and evil, especially when Kudo, King Among Bears, is best buds with Elish Norn. Did you know that? They're best buds. Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite. 4/7 Praetor with Vigilance for 7 mana and white. Other creature control +2/+2. Other creature control get -2/-2. This really just shows off exactly how evil this commander is. Now, not only like, you know, just, okay, my creatures now are 4/4s. Cool. But your creatures are all gone. You literally cannot get creatures into play unless you've got other modifiers to ensure that they survive. Because their base power and toughness is 2/2, no matter how big they are. Again, your 10/10 Eldrazi does not matter, is a 2/2, which is now a 0/0. It is gone. You try to play any other creatures, they're gone. Because I have locked down the board with my Praetor, best friend of a bear. Also, other just miscellaneous weird combos that can work in this as well. Like, hey, it's a bear deck, right? Sure, and I can prove it. I've got a Eula Queen Among Bears in there. Cool, everyone. Look, it's a bear deck. Don't worry about it. 2/2 bear for 2 mana. Another bear in his battlefield control. Choose 1. 2 counters on target bear. Target bear control fights our creature control. Look, it's just a bear deck, okay? And then you play a Basking Broodscale. A 2/2 Eldrazi Lizard for 2 mana in green, devoid. You can adapt it as well, but most importantly, whenever one or more counters are put on it, you may create a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn creature token with sacrifice creature, add a colorless, except the fact that this is now a 2/2 Eldrazi spawn bear, which again would trigger Iula every single time, and then you get counters on this again and again and again. And congratulations, you've got infinite Eldrazi spawn bears you can sacrifice for mana and whatnot. Plenty of ways to win from there. Again, just even at a base level, just playing a Collective Blessing is incredibly gross with this commander. Just playing any kind of an anthem, even like a base anthem like Gaia's Anthem. Creature control get +3/+3. Yeah, so again, I literally just made the playing field completely even, right? I made it even, okay? Everyone's got 2/2s, right? Except I'm probably getting a bunch of like little 1/1 tokens into play, which then become 2/2 bears. And then also I played this, so now I just made them into 5/5s. And by the way, all your creatures are 2/2s, so therefore it's gonna take you like triple blocking each one of my creatures to take any of them out. Good luck with that. Or you know what, if I want to be really gross, hate bears. Yeah, that is a type of bear deck, right? Technically, kind of. Hate bears. There you go. 2/1 Bird Wizard, flash flying for 3 mana. This is technically, you know, a 3-mana hate bear, but you know, okay, the originals are 2. Whatever. But opponent would search a library. The player search the top 4 cards of the library and set. Again, having all these little low-to-the-ground creatures that have different aspects of ways to annoy and decimate your opponent's hopes and dreams. What's not to love about that? No, Kudo is evil. Again, there's a lot of ways that commanders get around the perceived threat that they are. It could be the name, it could be the artwork, it could be, oh, it's a cuddly bear. Look at yeah, it's a bear tribal. It's just, there's nothing threatening about, oh, it's incredibly threatening. Bears are super threatening creatures. Look out for Kudo. Next up, in my opinion, the OG. And yes, a deck that I still have, unlike Marwyn. Phelddagrif. Phelddagrif is probably the most unassuming commander out there. Literally, look at the name, look at the kind of creature it is, look at the artwork. It is a completely just unassuming commander. You're like, yeah, there's nothing threatening about that player over there. My Phelddagrif deck out of all my decks has my highest win percentage because of this fact. You just sit in the corner with the Phelddagrif deck. No one is taking you seriously at all. No one ever swings at you. I mean, and you also have some ways to, you know, deter them from swinging at you. And they're just like, yeah, don't worry about that player over there with the Phelddagrif deck. You know, let's just attack each other, and then at the end, we'll just take out that last Phelddagrif player. No, take them out. I'm not going to say take them out right away, but know when to take them out, because also they're going to want to be your friend. They're going to show that they are your friend. That is what this commander does. It's a 4/4 Phelddagrif, I believe. Again, it says summon legend, but still Phelddagrif. Pay a single white mana flying until after target opponent gains 2 life. Pay a single blue, bounce it back to its owner's hand. Target opponent may draw a card. Huge word right there, may. Single green mana, travel until end of turn, put a hippo token in a player under target opponent's control, treat it as a 1/1 creature. Basically, give them a 1/1 hippo. So, again, unlike Bumbleflower, who is Phelddagrif adjacent, that one does force the card draw. This one does not. And because of that, the goal isn't just like, okay, I make infinite mana, and then all of a sudden, congratulations, I made everyone else draw out their entire decks. No, you cannot do that because it is a may. They can decide not to draw the card. But what you can do is force gain life, which would be great if you were in black, but then if it was in black, then you probably wouldn't be able to get away with the, like, oh, it's not a threat. They'd see through that one. Now, what they don't see as a threat is necessarily you giving them hippos and being like, hey, yeah, you know what? I got some extra mana lying around. I'd like to make a friend. Hey, you know what? How about I give you a hippo? Actually, you know what? 3 hippos. Okay, cool. All right, yay. Even if the Phelddagrif player is not asking for anything at all in return, okay? And they might be like, okay, don't attack me with the hippo, okay? Or here, have a hippo blocker to help you out. They are taking advantage of you. They are going to just build up this hippo army in front of you that eventually will kill you. They will take you out with the hippos in one way or another. I mean, one way is Suture Priest. Like, yeah, there you go. 1/1. Whenever a creature is battlefield under your control, you may gain 1 life. Also, whenever a creature is battlefield under opponent's control, you may have them lose 1 life. Here's the thing. You're going to have them lose the life. You're going to be like, okay, I pay green mana and the opponent loses 1 life, basically. Yeah, that's fun. Also, you know what is fun, too? You can throw in some combos with the Phelddagrif as well. Don't have it in my Phelddagrif deck, but Intruder Alarm, there you go. Do you have anything that can tap for a single green mana, like a Llanowar Elves? There you go. Any creature that does it, you have infinite, well, not infinite mana, but you've got infinite hippos being made because, again, you tap the Llanowar Elves, you pay a green mana, you give a player a hippo, it triggers the Intruder Alarm, and everything untaps, and you do it again. As many hippos as it takes to take them out, the Suture Priest or whatnot. Also, Reigns of Power. Again, like I said, you might think that you're safe, you know, with your hippo army that was gifted to you by the generous Phelddagrif player. Eventually, they're just going to take it from you and then smack you with it. Untap all creatures you in target opponent control. Essentially, you swap those creatures. Basically, this is a swap creature spell, okay? You get my creatures, which is basically just Phelddagrif, and I get your entire army plus all the hippos I gave you. And now I take you out with your own creatures, because you already worked with me to take out the other 2 opponents, you fool. And now I take you out with your own creatures with a 4-mana spell. Literally, you just worked the entire game to do all the things you did, worked with the Phelddagrif player, they gave you hippos, you took out the other 2 opponents, and then you both were like, yay, okay. And then the next turn, the Phelddagrif player literally just steals your creatures, including the hippos, and takes you out with them. Or how about Azuri's Predation? Yeah, this is gross. For each creature opponents control, create a 4/4 green Phyrexian Beast creature token. Each of those creatures fights a different one of those creatures. So basically, hey, you know what? I just gave you, let's count this real quick. 20 hippos plus your 6 creatures that you already had. Okay, I'm going to make 26 4/4s that come into play and then fight your creatures. Every single one of those hippos is gone. A couple of those creatures that you just had generally are gone as well. And now I've got an absurd amount of power on the board ready to take you out as well. So yeah, I got ways to do that. Or, you know, I can just sit back and even if I don't make a deal with you, Reverence, cards like this, which I did not realize is $9. My goodness, this card used to be less than 50 cents. Creature power 2 or less can't attack you. So basically, again, you give them all those hippos, they can't attack you with them. It's like, okay, yeah, don't care if you made a deal with me or not. It doesn't matter. Just have all these hippos. They're just going to sit there and you knew nothing about them. So even if you don't have Suture Priest, you can still win with things like Angel's Trumpet, a very weird old card. Basically, every creature has vigilance. At the end of each player's turn, tap on tap creatures they control that did not attack this turn. They take 1 damage per creature that did not attack this turn. So basically, I mean, either at the end of the turn and be like, hey, you got a bunch of hippos and they got to tap because they didn't attack. You didn't have an opportunity to do so. Take some damage, or literally just late game, you have Reverence in play or some other way to like force them not to be able to attack you, like Ghost Spirits and they don't have enough mana. you gotta, tap those, and then they each ping you. So yet another way to do that. Biting a fast, again, make opponents do your dirty work for you. Even if you're not making deals, give them a ton of hippos and be like, I want you to take out the other opponents. Haha! Yes, I will do it. And then you say, hey, pay 1 and a blue, tap, creature opponents attack this turn of Fable. Can you get Reverence in play? They can't attack you. They gotta go somewhere else. So make them do your dirty work for you. So again, Phelddagrif, again, can just be so unassuming. Be this commander that looks like, again, it's a derpy hippo with wings. But it is deadly. It is so deadly that Phelddagrif player is just going to sit back there, make friends, make quote-unquote friends during the game, and then stab those friends in the back when it helps them. So yeah, Phelddagrif, super evil. Next up, Grumgully the Generous. Now, we already talked about a couple of different commanders. This is kind of like a combination of them in my mind, like Abdel, Adrian, okay? Uncommon. This is an uncommon commander. It also is like a friendly looking commander on it, right? Like cute art. Cool. Yeah, this guy is just, he's a weird dude, I guess. I don't know. But big smile. There you go. And also, it's like Cayth, where it is infinite combo-y very easily with certain creatures. A 3/3 Goblin Shaman for 3 mana in Gruul. Each other non-human creature you control enters with additional counter on it. Very simple, very effective. Basically, again, persist. Yeah, literally just any persist creature that works in this, you gotta be on the lookout for that. 3/3, airy oofs, that costs 5 mana. Sacrifice it, deals damage with power to target creature with flying. I mean, this is literally just a combo in and of itself with the commander. If you're going up against, say, a dragon deck or anything that has flying, you just wipe out all their flying creatures because, again, this has persist. It comes back, it gets the +1 counter from your commander, cancels out the -1 counter, and you keep doing that again and again and again and again. But here's the thing, of course. Yeah, any of those other combos we talked about earlier, like, Goblin Barber, congratulations, all the damage you could ever want, but also, like, Alter Dementia. Cool, yeah, mill someone. Oh, it doesn't matter. Again, whatever ones you have. Or how about a Woodfall Primus? Oh my goodness, gross. So yeah, you get access to some other things that Cayth doesn't have access to that is pretty gross. 6/6 Treefolk Shaman, 8 mana in total, but well worth it for this commander. Trample, enters the battlefield, destroy target non-creature permanent, and of course persist. So literally just sacrifice with one of my free sacrifice outlets. This comes back into play. Cool. Destroy that, destroy that, destroy that. Literally destroy everything your opponents have that aren't creatures, and yes, that includes lands. The game is over because literally they cannot keep any lands in play unless they happen to have a creature board state that somehow takes you out. But yeah, that's probably not going to happen, especially if you have like an Impact Tremors. Then you just already win anyway. So yeah, Grumgully, again, it's like a combination of a couple of the previous ones we talked about. Look out for it. Again, uncommon, cute art, doesn't matter. Look past that. It is a gross, evil commander. Take it out. Okay, finally, Jon Irenicus Shattered One. Now, this one, okay, like the other ones previously, it's like, okay, like their art looks cute or whatnot, or like the name is nice, or it's uncommon. This one doesn't have that going for it where like it can really slip under the radar, but it can just be one that your opponents like don't take all that seriously, okay? And they should, because this is the most, out of all these, probably the most evil commander. Because with this one, you're not actually trying to win the game. In fact, you're trying to make everyone upset. You're literally just going to be like, why did we even play? 3/3 Elf Wizard for 4 mana in Dimir. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent gains roll up to 1 target creature control. Put 2 counters on it, tap it, it's go for the rest of the game and gains. This creature can be sacrificed. Whenever a creature you own but don't control attacks, you draw a card. Again, the way that you can present this if you're an evil person is like, you know what? I'm just trying to get creatures out, share them with my opponents, and maybe get some value out of it. That's just what's happening. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. And then you play Manta Ray. And then everyone's like, wait, that is a really weird old card. Why is that in your deck? And you're like, don't worry about it. 3/3 fish, I guess, for 3 mana in blue. Island Home. Let's get back to that in a second. Can't be blocked except by blue creatures. So you're like, yeah, I just have an unblockable creature for no reason. Don't worry about it. Island Home, though, which was a keyword, now is no longer a keyword, I guess. If defending player controls no islands, this creature cannot attack. If you control no islands, bury this creature. Basically, if you don't have islands, you can't have the fish, which, I mean, kind of makes sense in, like, old school Magic, where it was, like, very literal in certain ways, where it's like, yeah, of course you can't have a fish if you don't have an island, right? What is it gonna do? It's not swimming around. Yeah, it needs water. Okay. But yeah, basically with this commander, essentially, here's the thing. You literally just donate this to anyone, the game is over. An infinite loop happens that even you can't stop at that point. The game is a stalemate because, again, this says, if you control no islands, bury, which means sacrifice this creature. So all you do is literally just give this creature again on your end step to one opponent who has no islands, and they say, oh, well, I don't have any islands, so I guess I have to sacrifice it. But Jon Irenicus also said that, hey, this creature this creature can't be sacrificed. So an infinite loop occurs where it's like, I need to be sacrificed. I can't be sacrificed. I need to be sacrificed. I can't be sacrificed. And that loop is permanent. There is no stopping it except for, I guess, okay. If someone has removal for it, I should say. But you yourself, as the controller of the commander, as the owner of that card, you can't stop the loop. There is no stopping. You literally just created an infinite loop that the game just ends in a stalemate. And if your opponents happen to stop this one, guess what? You've got backups because you got Bog Serpent, all right? Exact same thing, but basically Swamp Home, I guess. Whenever you control no stumps, sacrifice it. So again, you just donate this to an opponent. Or how about Phylactery Lich? There you go. Hey, enters the battlefield, get a Phylactery counter on an artifact you control. Here's the thing, your opponents don't have those unless they're actually playing this exact same card, which is strange, and they won't be. So basically, if you give it to them, again, they're going to have no permanent Phylactery counters on them, and they're going to, well, it's not their fault, but you're going to say it's their fault that they don't have those counters right, and then the game is a stalemate. Bronze Bombshell. This one actually is kind of funny as well because you're like, well, I'm dealing damage. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. It's just an infinite loop. All right, whenever a player other than its owner owns it, that player sacrifices it. If the player does, 7 damage to them. The damage is never going to hit because they can't sacrifice it, even though it keeps saying sacrifice it. Lordbound Scarecrow comes into play, choose a color. Again, look at your opponent's boards and be like, what do they not have? There you go. When you control no permanents of the chosen color, sacrifice it. So again, you're like, okay, cool, yeah, you don't have any blue, you don't have any black, cool. All right, I'll choose one of those two, and then I'll give it to the player that doesn't have that, and then all the sacrificing, non-sacrificing happens. So again, this one, unlike the other ones, like, it's not like friendly art. It's not like, yay, look at this, like, rabbit or whatnot, all right? It's not like, oh, it's an uncommon commander, don't worry about it, okay? It's a somewhat evil-looking commander, but one that you can be like, well, I'm just about to donate things. Don't worry about it. No, be worried about it because there are like 20 of those cards that are like, hey, sacrifice me if you don't have something, and it just takes one to get through. One to be given to an opponent that can't deal with it, can't get rid of it, and all of a sudden, infinite loop of stalemate. And why did we even play the game if we were just going to tie? Yeah, Jon Irenicus, you are evil. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.